Is the crowd reaction the biggest for I Don't Know, or is there a different song that gets the people going
That
as well?
yeah, that's definitely a fun one because it's you definitely get to hear the crowd singing it quite a bit. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of reaction. The show is a very well put together show. Like for me, it's the probably the fastest kind of the show goes by so quickly in my head. It's almost a 2 hour show, but it's incredible how quickly it goes by.
Is it because
And
it's such a fun, energetic show? Like you're just
yeah,
swept up in the
yeah, and
extravaganza?
I think there's also it's a journey. It's not like the same thing over and over for 2 hours. The show starts off pretty rocking, and then there's like Bad Lieutenant, and then there's even a song that Seamus sings that's actually I really enjoy that song, a Good Man off their latest record. And it's a Seamus song, and I think Ewan sings it on the record, but Seamus wrote it and he sings it live. And it's something those kinds of songs that are kind of more laid back are pretty interesting for me to do because I've normally been either more of a like you know power through kind of guitar player or whatever, and now that's given me more of like a Beatlesy kind of time on stage, and it's a different energy that I'm kind of pulling out of me and trying to like fit in with the band and the crowd. For me, the way I used to reach the crowd the most was like having the most energy. I would just put out so much. And I feel like having that different perspective now has made me grow as a musician, you know, which is amazing because I always look forward to getting better at what I do. And I feel like uh jumping on board with the Sheepdogs has made me look at myself from a different perspective. Another cool song is HMS Buffalo, which is an instrumental that always gets people going. We do a little bit of on Allman Brothers kind of in there also. Man, the show is so much fun. To be honest, it goes by too quickly, and I think fans feel that way too. It's just there's so much to it. There's some old Sheepdogs, there's some new Sheepdogs, some new tunes. There's some hits, there's some instrumentals, there's some features of you and guitar solo. There's a drum solo. There's some keyboard solo. There's some B3 solos. There's Ryan, who is just a riot. Even from my perspective on stage, he's so fun to look at and great bass player, and he adds so much. He's kind of like the gel of the whole thing too, uh, and I get to do a 3 minute guitar hero solo in the set also, which naturally kind of happened. I always remember the very first show at the Burning Kiln Winery. Uh, we're looking at the set list, and he's like, "Feeling good." I go, "Yeah, feeling good." Yeah, the song is that. So just before that, we play Jesse Please, and then it kind of rings out. Can you just do like a bit of a like whatever there just before feeling good while we get ready
A
for the
little
full,
whatever, just a
yeah, a little
little
whatever.
whatever.
And it's like I remember hearing the live album with Jimmy on there. I remember there's a lot of feedback and a fuzz, and just before the riff kicks in, I go, sure. So I go down the set list one song at a time, and then oh boy, Jesse Please ends, and I'm like, I really don't know what's about to happen here, but let's go for pedal to the metal. I wanted to doing some started off with some feedback, but then it kind of escalated into this 3 minute guitar solo. And I'll always remember I even saw some footage from that show online afterwards where the Ryan and Ewan kind of walked back, and then there was Seamus behind his keyboard. I don't think anybody, even including myself, knew what was happening. I just kind of like closed my eyes and started ripping a massive solo and ended up with a big feedback, and then and then the crowd and the whole thing, and it was like wow. We walked off stage and we had like bras thrown at us, and the crowd was going nuts. And I always remember you and the band saying, well, you could do that every night. I think we're in business. So we never really talked about it, but we've been doing that solo, that like guitar hero moment every night since. So it's been like, I don't know, 60 shows now, and it's still in there. So like I said, it's been a lot of fun because it's just been a natural kind of organic show. And I really dig that. I really think we need that more. Like there's no tracks in the show, which is I never played with tracks myself, but I know it's a big thing nowadays, and it's kind of like the norm, the click track and with the lights and the whole thing. This is like old school. It's like
Rock and roll, baby.
you have to make it happen. You know what I mean? So that's super exciting to me. It keeps it exciting, and that's probably the reason why it goes by so quickly, because it's the same set list, give or take, every night, but we don't really do the same solos, or there's always the highlights. We know what needs to stay there. We know what kind of can move, and we can improvise on for sure. But yeah.
So I have one final quote,
Oh,
and then we like to end with a rapid fire section. So I just rapid fire questions off, just quick answers,
okay.
and then we'll wrap everything up with a nice bow at the end. Does that work for you?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Okay, so final quote. You know what? I've set the bar high with all these Canadian icons, so I got to finish strong. So this is from Mike Turner, former guitarist of the diamond selling band Our Lady Peace. This is what Mike Turner has to say. He says, Ricky is, above all else, a natural. He's a warm person to hang out with and has an easy way about him. Musically, in the context I've seen him at least, he's got the same ease and warmth. At the same time, he's got a sonic curiosity with guitar that we bonded over. Well, we were in an active combat theater and still geeked out about gear. There's a photo somewhere of him and I talking gear during sound check on stage at Kandahar Airfield, but the internet is too big for me to find it. I did try, though. That's from Mike Turner, former guitarist, Our Lady Peace.
Oh man, that's amazing. Yeah. Oh man, I love Mike. I've had the chance to see him a couple of times after our time in Afghanistan. That sounds so crazy. But yeah, we did go to Afghanistan together, and it was a great time. He's such a I would have to say the same thing about him. I like the fact that we're kind of, I don't know him that well, but I kind of feel like we're kind of the same kind of like easygoing, warm feeling. We bonded over gear, and then last time I saw him, we bonded over bourbon. We talked about our love for bourbon and scotch. So that was, yeah, man. Again, another person I get caught up into these things, and I just kind of like look forward, but I should reach out to some of these people, man. It's like it's reminding me of how, got to get out there and be more social a bit, maybe.
The pandemic, yeah, has
The
locked us
pandemic.
all away for 3 years.
Oh
This
man,
is the great
that's so nice. I
reunion
mean,
episode to bring
that's so
everyone
nice
back
of you to
together.
have kind of like gotten out there and gotten some quotes. I mean, I feel very fortunate to have that come back at me in this particular way, man.